So in the first Scoot video I did, I mentioned his playmaking as somewhat of a weakness. But in that first couple games, or Scoot only played like a game and a quarter because of the injury, the passing did not look like anything of a weakness. And we're gonna go over the kind of passing clinic that Scoot put on. As I've mentioned before, a special athlete and shot creator, and burgeoning shooter. But if the passing is going to look like this, man, he is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. He always had the instincts, but Scoot's timing and pace in the pick and roll looks fairly different than it did last season. He toyed with Victor Wembanyama in the pick and roll both games. This little like hezzy kind of pace freezes Wemby, and because Scoot is so blazing fast, he can get downhill whenever he wants, and he's just gonna bounce this little pocket pass in for a layup. He does this kind of slow pace bounce pass so often, and it's so deadly because of how fast and how explosive he is. Defenses know he can go, 0 to 100 and get right to the rim whenever he wants, but Scoot is patient, waits for his roller to clear the help, and slips it in before the corner help can rotate over. That's beautiful timing and beautiful vision. Again, two areas that were kind of weaknesses. Again, we see him setting up the empty side pick and roll, and we see a similar play where Scoot is going to kind of take advantage of Wemby in this 2v1 situation, where Wemby has to play high because he is afraid of Scoot's pull-up, presumably. So Scoot pretty much immediately takes advantage. He sees this top foot is turned, so Wemby is going to have a tough time recovering. So he bounces in a simple pocket pass. Very quick bounce pass as well, which is good to see. And that's a nasty poster. These little like bounce passes are really good to see because like these are the kind of plays that Scoot wasn't doing so consistently before, where Ignite like gets him off ball, working into the middle, and Scoot is able to, again, this little stop and kind of neutral head position doesn't give away anything, and Scoot doesn't look down to make that bounce pass until the very last second. So the manipulation has always been kind of a plus for Scoot. He has flashed that last season and kind of in the past, but the ability to execute these kind of plays consistently and with pace was really, really impressive and a development to watch. And Scoot, of course, can take these similar situations, working off the ball, and turn them into scoring chances with his, handle and pull-up shooting, which makes him all the more deadly. And as I mentioned, last season in similar situations, he would often miss reads like this, where there's a pretty wide open pocket pass to his roller, which would create some sort of advantage, and Scoot just doesn't see it. This didn't really happen in the small sample so far that we have against Wemby's team as well. I love the general creativity that Scoot passes with, hitting this kind of pivot skip pass as well. Really, really advanced play as well. He just picks on this help defender, and you could probably argue that like he can slip this pass in just because this is a smaller defender, but this is a tough angle with the big man here, and he just whips it baseball style over all of the defenders. That's vision. The vision is so much more impressive than I remember it being last season. That's a pretty high level pass. We've seen the interior stuff, the exterior stuff. It's all fantastic. And Scoot has always played with kind of a wild creativity in all facets and as a passer. And that, of course, hasn't changed, as we see just ridiculous stuff like that, where Scoot is snaking with pace, again, playing slower, playing more controlled on a lot of these plays, which is nice, which is a good development. He kind of moves Wemby into this space, and there wasn't really an opportunity to make a pass earlier here. Like, the roller's right in his way. There isn't really anywhere to pass that ball. The help is congested. So Scoot moves wide to widen this defense. And there is a little hole here, and Scoot like lasers a bounce pass into a perfect spot, where the defense is able to swarm. But if that's like a real, if that's like Joel Embiid or someone, I don't know, that's like an easy dunk every time. And these kind of passes, like even if they aren't leading to assists, are so good to see a young point guard and a young playmaker take and try. And just the creativity, again, totally audibles on the spot when Victor Wembanyama goes up to contest because he blocked one of Scoot's jumpers earlier in this game, I think. So he's like, nope, not again. And notices that Aaron Henry here isn't really playing the pass because this is just a jumper. So he's able to kind of slip it into his teammate who makes himself open, and he gets a decent, draws a foul. So it's that kind of like creative playmaking that the instinct passing that Scoot has always thrived on. And it's really awesome to see him thriving on that as well. And when you couple Scoot's off-ball speed and closeout attacking ability with this passing, man, that is going to be unstoppable. Because obviously Scoot, we've seen throughout this video, and you've seen him generate advantages on the ball and capitalize on those with lateral passing. But when Scoot can attack a closeout, there is nobody stopping him with that speed. He sees Wemby step up. This help defender is nowhere to be seen, so Scoot makes a simple laydown. And again, not tipping his hand until the last second, where Scoot right here could still presumably shoot it. Like, there's no indication that he's passing this ball until it's out, which is a really, really high-level passing trait, something that the great passers consistently exhibit. There's still, like, just so much defenses have to worry about with him off the ball, as a simple, like, little DHO getting him downhill forces a one-pass rotation, and Scoot is more than smart enough and more than aware enough to capitalize on these kind of plays. His speed is such a weapon, and I hope whatever team drafts him is creative as hell, using his speed to get him all over the floor and get him in all sorts of advantage situations, because he can't always do it himself. It's unrealistic. So getting those off-ball advantages is going to be key. And the instinct passing is still going to come with some missed reads and some weird placement, because he is just like an instinct feel passer still at this point, where Scoot is just kind of floating a nonsense pass. I'm not really sure what this is, but this wasn't common at all in the his small sample last week, where it was pretty common stuff like this in his G League Ignite tape from last year. So the progression has been awesome. I'm very excited to see how he continues to progress as a passer this season with G League Ignite, and if this kind of pick and roll mastery and really impressive pace and manipulation and vision continues. Because if so, Scoot already had the makings of a special point guard prospect, and it's just getting even wilder at this point. And I couldn't fit this play didn't really fit anywhere, but I just wanted to show it, just because I think it's cool. Unreal deceleration. Got Wemby and Aaron Henry just absolutely leaping. Look at that stop. Oh my god. Nasty. Scoot is so good.